Sunday, the 8th of December, 2024, and you find me here with a wonky hat. There we go. We're here at Wick bus terminal today, and we're waiting for a bus. That bus is in 2 hours. That's the next 82 to Thurso. The first one of the day was at 9:30 in the morning. The one after that is at 12:25. A gap of just 3 hours. So you can't travel from Wick to Thurso between the hours of 9:30 and 12:30 on a Saturday or a Sunday. Yes, not just a Sunday, it's a Saturday too. How ridiculous. There's not a bus between those hours or a means of getting to Thurso. Unless you want to catch the train at 11:58. But if you don't want to catch the train, you'll have to wait till 12:25. So it sets off from Wick Tesco at 12:20, comes here for 12:25, and then it just makes its way to Thurso and gets there for around, 13:06 roughly, before departing again at 13:10. That's what we'll do later. Well, we're not going to depart at 13:10, we'll depart at 15:10, because that's when the next bus after 13:10 is. A gap of just 2 hours in Thurso, which is very, very good. That's like pure sarcasm, by the way. That's not very good, is it? That's pretty rubbish. So you can't get between Wick and Thurso regularly on a Sunday or a Saturday of that, because the first bus is at 9:30 in the morning, then you can't get one till 12:30, then the one after that from Wick to Thurso and the other way, obviously 2 hours after that, so that's 14:30 off of Wick Tesco, no, 14:20 off of Wick Tesco and 14:25 off of here. Again, stupid timetable, I have no idea why. Whereas on a Saturday it's a different time completely. I'm sure you're seeing the timetable, the very confusing timetable on the screen sometime now. But, like I said, the topic of today's video is just addressing the rubbish public transport service here on a weekend, and mainly a Sunday in Caithness. I agree. And here's another thing, you can't actually travel between Wick and Thurso after the hours of 8:30, as the last way of getting to Thurso from Wick is 2021, and not the year, I mean the time in the evening, the ridiculous time in the evening. On a Saturday it's not too bad, they run until about 9 o'clock at night, again you're probably seeing a timetable somewhere, but whatever. But on a Sunday, like the day I'm filming this, the latest you can get to Thurso is at 2021. The 82s, the last one of the day, departs here at 16:25, and the last one of Thurso is something 5:10, something like that, so ridiculous. And it gets back here for 17:51. So you can travel from here to Wick Tesco at 17:51. They terminate at 6 o'clock. That's ridiculous. People want to travel between Wick and Thurso any time of the day. You should see some of the buses on a Saturday, and even a Sunday, the 12:30 bus on a Sunday that I'll catch later. I'm sure that'll have loads of people on it. As well as that, here at Wick bus terminal, during the week, there's quite a few other buses, the 99, the 77, the 175, you get the point, the 913 and that. And obviously the X99, but the X99 does just one run service a day, but we'll address that a little bit later. But in terms of other services, there aren't any. So there's only 2 bus services in Caithness on a Sunday. Well, 3, including the Dunray run. That is a way of getting to Thurso, I guess, but, in terms of it, it's not very convenient. For the fact it doesn't come here. Rude. Doesn't come here, it just goes starts at Staxigo, and then goes up around Poultney Town, and doesn't even come to Wick Town Centre. So how inconvenient is that? If you want to get to Thurso past, 2021, conveniently from Wick bus terminal, well, you'll have to either walk all the way to Staxigo, go just up there to the hospital, so that's a walk away from town, or you'll have to walk all the way up to Tesco. Ridiculous. What's the point of that? Well, it's for Dunray people, and Stagecoach alone, I'm not just blaming Stagecoach, but Stagecoach are just afraid they're going to lose the Dunray contract, because, they prioritise Dunray over anything else. They got new buses for Dunray routes, okay, yes, they're used on normal routes and stuff like that, but mainly they were for Dunray routes. They were half paid for by Dunray and half paid for by Stagecoach. So, what's the crack with that then? Well, not much. Again, prioritising Dunray over everything else. And as my hair decides it comes further out of my hat, let's move up there and talk about the X99. So then, you now find me here above Wick Town Centre, and behind me to my right is the X99, which just runs one services on a Saturday and 3 services on a weekend. The service on a Sunday like today is at 11:35, that's the exact time now, as it sets off just over there. That will make its way to Inverness. It comes all the way from Scrabster. It sets off from there at like 10:45 or something like that. There it goes, as you can hear. Sets off at 10:45 from Scrabster and then makes its way to Inverness on about a 4-hour trip. And that's the first time you can get to Inverness on a Sunday. On a Saturday it's slightly better, you can get there at 6:58 on the X99 from Wick, and then another one at 9:53 from here on Bridge Street and at the bus terminal where I was before. But now we're going to head to the railway station and talk about trains. And the service for which on Sundays is as equally poor, with just one service heading to Inverness at 11:58. This was actually terminated during COVID-19, so we have no Sunday service for like probably 2 years, and that is reflected on my channel, obviously 2 years ago. Now though, we've got a service every day, every Sunday, despite sometimes it being cancelled due to bad weather and things like that. But most Sundays there's just one train a day there, and later on at like whatever it is, 6, half 6, something like that. There's times again on the screen somewhere. I'm meant to be a train expert, I don't know half of the time. But it comes back later in the day. So does the X99, the thing we just seen before. So this will depart at 11:58, taking the passengers, which there's quite a few of them, because there's only one service a day, and people rely on trains often to get to different locations that buses don't go to, such as the Flow Country and Thurso. So people can actually get there before or in between 9:30 and 12:30, which is ridiculous. So the train provides a service. There could do with more of them. There used to be 2 of them. The 10:41, which runs during the week, they used to run, I believe, before COVID with Inverness crew on it, so there used to be 2 services, but now it's just 1, which proves that railways just don't get investment, and it's quite sad really, because there's all these passengers that you can see over there that are having to wait for the train, and there's only one train, so a lot of people often cramming on for just a 2-car DMU, again showing the lack of investment in railways there, because it used to be a 4-carriage train that split and stuff, but now it's just a 2-carriage DMU that heads all the way to Inverness, many miles away. So now that I've talked about trains, there's a little honourable mention I'd like to give, and that is in fact the aeroplane. You know them things that fly from the airport? So on a Sunday we do get an aeroplane service that goes to Aberdeen, operated by Eastern Airways. Again, you're probably seeing some sort of photographs or videological evidence. Is that a word? I don't think so. But anyway, we get a flight. It comes in at 3 o'clock and goes at 3, so that's okay. We get a flight, okay, not very convenient, but at least you can get to Aberdeen sooner than you would be able to on the bus, because you go there 3 hours from Wick, and then 2.5 to 3 or 4 hours from Inverness to Aberdeen. So at least you get there relatively decently. But obviously aeroplanes cost a lot, but then again, the service gets used quite regularly. In a week, there's also, there's one service on a Tuesday, a Wednesday and a Thursday, and on a Monday and a Friday, there's actually 2 services. Not sure the exact times, because they appear to change every day due to the thing called weather, but then again, the service often runs quite frequently. So then, with those 2 factors addressed then, we're now here in Thurso. As you can see, you find me in the bus shelter that was installed around the same time as Wick bus terminal, but then something happened to it, it fell down, and another one was put up. But I did make a video on that, didn't I? I can't remember, it was quite a while ago now. Anyway, you find me here as I'm just going to be talking about the buses that simply don't run on a weekend. So, during the week here you can catch the 921 service to Ray, the 80 service to Wick, John O'Groats, and obviously Scrabster at the other side of the road. And also there's student race services like 275, 282, 280, and 281, which obviously go to Wick, John O'Groats, and just here. None of them just go here, do they? Well, they all do go here, but you know what I'm trying to say, don't you? I hope you do anyway. So, none of those buses except the 276 run on a weekend, and only on a Saturday does the 80 run just to John O'Groats. so you can't actually catch a bus from here to Wick via John O'Groats on a weekend, only during the week. And on a Sunday, there isn't any buses to John O'Groats at all, so anywhere from here to John O'Groats, there is just no bus service on a Sunday. And I'm going to say this, it's pretty ridiculous, because on a weekday and on a Saturday, that bus service is quite popular. Again, just people coming here to Thurso to get their shopping and, you know, work and stuff, because work does exist on a Sunday, you know. Stagecoach. or the Highland Council, sorry, I'll address the Highland Council, because they're in charge of the timetables at the weekend. Anyway, so no bus service between here, John O'Groats and Wick on a, well, Sunday, and none to Wick via John O'Groats on a Saturday. Also, like I was saying, the 91 and those Doonray services don't run, and also there's the 74 service, which, does it terminate here, or does it terminate at the high school? I think it terminates at the high school, but it is a service, and it doesn't run at the weekend. So, the next bus is actually at 15:10, approximately 2 hours from now. I just got the one at, well, that arrived here at like 13:06, the 12:25 service of Wick, and that departed at 13:10. For some reason, 10 past. Why 10 past? How random. Anyway, so the next bus is at 15:10, that's mine, and the one after that is 2 hours later at 17:10. And that's the latest you can get to Wick from Thurso, unless you want to wait till like 9 o'clock for the train. Also, I should have addressed something earlier, and that was the X99. You can travel from Wick to, not Wick, you can travel from Thurso to Wick on the X99 if you wish, like the one I seen earlier in Wick. But that's the only way between like 9:30 and, that's the only time between not half past, I'm getting confused with the Sunday silly timetable. 10 past 10 and 13:10 you can get from Thurso to Wick. So, ridiculous, I must admit. So then, you now find me here outside the Stagecoach Highland Thurso depot. Obviously here in Thurso. Like, I've not travelled from like anywhere different from where I was before. I'm just like half a mile up the road. Anyway, this is where we're going to be wrapping the video up today, and as you can see, inside the depot is a whole host of buses. In fact, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vehicles in the shed. Got 3 vehicles for the X99, which there must be another one at Wick. No, there must be 2 more at Wick. We've got an Intellect, we've got 2 Mercedeses, and that adds up, because there'll be 3 more at Wick. And obviously over there we've got 53703, I believe that broke down recently, so that's not going to be in service. But anyway, as you can see, we've got quite a lot of vehicles that are serviceable, which means there could be a lot more services. And I think, personally from experience, the demand is there. The 82 I came on, there was quite a few people on it, and well, basically it just, it could do with some more services throughout the day. And maybe another X99, possibly like not at 11 o'clock, maybe one early one, and maybe like at lunchtime time, sort of just breaking the service apart from Saturday. And I think like a whole replan of service times could be like feasible. But that's not a topic of today's video. The topic of today's video was just like addressing the public transport situation in Scotland, addressing the public transport situation in Caithness on a weekend. That was the topic of this video. As you can see, lots of spare buses, more buses could be about, more trains could be added, and speaking of planes, well, it's adequate, at least as an actual service, excluding Saturday. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I've got 15 minutes, don't want to miss my bus, I'll have to wait 2 hours.